Welcome back to Where is the Money? So it was just announced recently that Salesforce is adding another reduction to its staff. It is cutting 4,000 jobs. Now the company is making an official statement blaming it on AI and efficiency, the usual. Let's get an overview of what we're dealing with this time.
The machines that can handle certain tasks are being used a lot, and they're taking the place of humans. Salesforce has been on the front lines of the AI revolution, building what it calls Agent Force to boost its customer service. Now the company, a longtime Bay Area tech giant, says it will cut 4,000 jobs. Salesforce tells NBC Bay Area because of the benefits and efficiencies of Agent Force, we've seen the number of support cases we handle decline, and we no longer need to actively backfill support engineer roles.
There have been layoffs all over America directly attributed to AI.
As for AI itself,
this is a giant hype cycle.
Analyst Ed Zitron says it's being blamed by tech companies that overhired during the lockdown and are now looking to lure investors by claiming to be more efficient.
It's just the growth at all cost mindset. The only thing that's important is growth, even if it ruins people's lives, even if it makes the company worse and provide an inferior product.
Now, the AI influence of cutting jobs in the tech sector has been huge the last few years. A lot of big notable companies have come out, cut staff, and blamed it on AI and efficiency. Well, some people don't necessarily buy that story. Some people feel like, well, yeah, it has some AI components, but AI isn't quite there to do the full job yet. It's just pure outsourcing sprinkled with a little AI application.
So Salesforce lays off 4,000 people and they want to blame AI. The people who worked at Salesforce are saying that it's not due to AI. They basically are outsourcing the jobs and are paying people to do the labor way cheaper. Like they're outsourcing it to the Philippines. And the part that is integrated with AI is doing the basic bare minimum. Do you know how scary it is to hear that Salesforce laid off 4,000 people? If you know how many organizations and companies use Salesforce, that is scary. And what I'm predicting and feeling like is when those organizations realize that Salesforce has laid off 4,000 people, they're going to cut people whose job is related to managing their Salesforce and how they use Salesforce. Because they may see it as, if Salesforce can lay off 4,000 people and integrate AI to do the job, why can't we? I can see this being a very huge trickle effect, and I don't know why people are getting comfortable with replacing humans to do jobs with AI efficiency. And the fact of the matter is, the news story that I was watching was basically saying that, even down to people who are in media and entertainment should be in fear of their jobs because even AI can come in with integration and basically wipe out someone who, is in marketing. I just really don't get it. The climate that we are living in, the way people are just willing to toss people's livelihood away for AI samples of work, ridiculous. And then they bring in an HR consultant who's like, yeah, you need to make yourself more valuable behind your role. Valuable behind my role? Next up, you're going to be cutting marketing executives, clearly.
AI is the story they tell the shareholders and the public to make the company seem like they're moving in the right technological direction to entice people to invest more into the company. Okay. And then the actual outsourcing to third world countries like India is actually what's going on majority of the time, but that's basic business as usual. You know what? These companies these days in previous times used to pretend that, hey, we like American labor, we like hiring in the US, and anything that they put out into the public, or if they have to make a cut that affects jobs jobs in the US, they'll have a cover story and an excuse and downplay it and all of that. But these days, they don't even bother doing that because corporate America is wiping out a lot of jobs. All of these jobs and salaries that's redundant and just sitting there collecting the check, they want to get rid of all of them. So if you work in corporate America, keep your eyes open because they're not done just yet.
Well, if any of you corporate Gen Xers out there are still feeling comfortable in corporate, here's, I guess, almost a daily reminder now of where the corporate world's going, especially big corporate. I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I think this AI layoff wave is just starting. And this news from Salesforce.com, I'll put this up. You can see the thing, but you can search it anyway. You'll see it in the news headlines. Basically, they're laying off 4,000 more people. So not the massively large number that we've seen in the past, which, again, I still think this is the tip of the iceberg. But really what got me on this one was Benioff's quote about the impact that AI is having on their operations. And he described it as 8 of the most exciting months of my career, highlighting how AI transformed operations at the world's leading company. Now, we've also seen the news that 95% of AI pilots have been failures. So again, I'm dealing with some AI customer service. It's not there yet, but they don't care. It's going to take the expense out of the business. And these are customer-facing roles, right? So if they're taking out customer-facing, think about if your role within Salesforce isn't customer-facing, how long are you going to have that? Or do they try to figure out how to automate that out of the process, right? Like I said, I've lost all faith in corporate. If you follow my TikTok, you know that's not much of a surprise. But now you've got basically CEOs of large enterprise organizations talking about how excited they are for AI. Again, that's fine. I understand it's profits over people, but they used to at least pretend, right? If you're laying off 4,000 people, that would have been a tough day. The CEO would have to defend or think about the integrity of the company and how would they ever get people to work for them again. They don't give a shit. They just don't care anymore. And it's more exciting now of how many people can we lay off. I swear there's a competition among these big CEOs to see who can take the most headcount out first. Whether or not the operations can support or not, it doesn't matter, right? This is all about stock price and the perceived impact that Wall Street has, never mind the folks that are left to pick up the pieces after the layoffs.
Profits over people should be the motto of what they're telling the public, the workers, everybody, but that's not what they come out to say. That's what we feel, that's what we see with all the actions that they do, but they're not coming out quite to say just that, even though they're not making too many excuses either for cutting and outsourcing either. What do you guys make of this most recent cut with Salesforce? Is this just the beginning, since Salesforce is such a big player in the US tech sector and they're just getting warmed up with more layoffs like they have in the last few years? Put your comments below. Let's talk about it. This is Where is the Money? Talk to you soon.